I got 5:30, it's time to go. I'll call the meeting to order. 1.2 mission statement, Vice Chair Terry Weeds.
Beaufort County Schools will provide quality educational programs and services to ensure student, academic, and vocational success.
1.3 Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. Ms. Booth.
Please stand with me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please.
Moment of silence.
Might as well please continue to stand as we ask for the P.S. Jones Choir is going to come and give us a treat tonight, the great national anthem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Awesome.
Way to start a meeting.
Yes. Amen.
I love
Yep.
that. Yeah, that's a good way to start.
2.1, we're going to go on to approval of the agenda.
Second.
All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, 3.1, we got a set of minutes. There, everybody's had them. Any additions or corrections?
Move approval, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
That.
All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? All right, 4.1, we're going to get to public comment. We have one, Mr. Kirk Ryan, and it says request.
Welcome to Beaufort County Board of Education meeting. Your presence is welcomed and encouraged by the board. The board invites comments during the public comment section of the board meeting. The time is set aside for the board to hear comments on programs, policies, and procedures. The board typically will not respond to nor take any immediate action on the concerns expressed, but please be assured that the board will take all comments under appropriate advisement. In order to conduct the meeting in an orderly and efficient manner, the following guidelines have been established. Persons wishing to speak should have already registered prior to the board meeting by listing their name, address, telephone number, and topic to be addressed. To maximize participation, comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Yielding time to another speaker will not be permitted. A maximum of 4 speakers will be allowed to speak on any action item. Speak on any item. The chairman will invite speakers to the podium in the order in which they were registered. Comments must be issue-oriented. Complaints against any employee will not be heard in public session. Public participation is limited to the public comment section so that the board may deliberate important decisions without distraction or interference.
All right, you got it.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished board members, other public officials here tonight, and those who may be listening online, thank you for this opportunity to provide public comments to the Beaufort County School Board authorities as you deliberate a very impactful decision decision to close a rural public K-8 school in Beaufort County. My name is Kurt Ryan. I am a citizen of Richland Township, a township located on the southeast side of Beaufort County, southeast of the Pamlico River. As I shared yesterday in an email to the board members, my correspondence highlights the continuous frustration and lack of transparency by the Beaufort County School Board on this matter. On 2 occasions, the Mayor of Aurora, the Honorable Clifton E. Williams, extended an offer to brief the board on progress ongoing in Richland Township, specifically the town of Aurora. I assume all board members have received the correspondence delivered on government email accounts. Those accounts are funded by taxpayer revenue. Unfortunately, Mayor Williams is undergoing surgery tonight and is temporarily incapacitated. But he has asked that I give and make one more request of this board in person on his behalf. In the envelope presented here to the recorder is a thumb drive and hard copy of a community presentation that the mayor would like presented at a future BCS board meeting. The presentation could help educate the board members, many who do not live on the south side of the Pamlico River. We understand that board members may not be following these extensive efforts by communities that strive to provide much needed services in the community and to its citizens, including quality rural public education. As correspondent states, it is important we dispel any perceptions by the BCS board members that progress is not being made in revitalizing this rural community across many lines of effort. Comments by BCS administrators should be corrected, and as such comments may have unduly influenced the board's recent vote to start an exploratory process to close SW Snowden. The citizens of Richland Township and School District 2 look forward to hosting the board at SW Snowden tomorrow, April 16th at 6 p.m. in SW Snowden's gymnasium. We commend the board for publishing dates for multiple informational meetings in both Aurora and Chocowinity. As the rules governing this process state, in accordance with state statute 115 Charlie-92, consideration of districts and discontinuance of schools. As our community understands the process, this statute requires that a local board of education to hold public hearings. The citizens look forward to being provided with details of the information that you have to provide, Chairman, but more importantly, to ask board members hard questions about decisions that you have to evaluate. In closing, I thank you for your attendance to this matter. We look forward to the board considering a motion to host a Town of Aurora representative to brief the details of progress on the town's strategic plan to this board in the very near future. I request that my comments be considered for placement in public record, a copy of which I provide to your recorder. Thank you for your concerns.
Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on down to 5.1. No action items. SBA policy updates. We got a ton of them up there. Dr. Cheeseman.
Yeah, so you have policy updates for your first review, for a 30-day review. This is coming from the North Carolina School Board Association, recommended policies to review in light of the U.S. Department of Education's Dear Colleague letter, which was issued on February 14th, where the U.S. Department of Education warned that treating students differently on the basis of race to achieve nebulous goals such as diversity, racial balancing, social justice, or equity is illegal. The School Board Association has reviewed your policies. They've highlighted specific areas for you to review. This will be submitted to your board attorney as well, but you have 30 days to kind of take a look at it, see how you'd like to make any type of adjustments to your policy. This is a non-action item tonight, but just bring it to your attention and our community's attention for review. All right, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
5.2, Washington Elementary.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
I read through all of those. So there's a lot highlighted in 4 different attachments.
Yeah.
What is it exactly they're asking of us to do? Are they asking us to delete that particular part? What are they asking us to do?
And/or consider how you may reword it.
What is their problem
So
with that?
specifically, they're looking at any indication that may raise concerns that any initiatives that could be perceived to be DEI, diversity, equity, or inclusion, or even just the use of terms like diversity, or equity in policy that may trigger U.S. Department of Education scrutiny that could potentially result in withholding of federal funds to local boards. So even though you may not see the vocabulary, if there's a suggestion of it, then you're to consider it.
Because there were several that were obvious that I would want taken out.
Yes, yes.
Okay, but some of them was very bland.
Yeah, so then you just have to make decisions of whether you want to keep it or change the vocabulary, and that's where your board attorney would weigh in as well.
Yeah, I think the ones that are obvious are easy
Yeah.
to remove, but the other ones, I think you could look at them a couple of different ways, but in my opinion, I don't want to take any chances. If
No.
it can be perceived that we
Yeah.
are not in line with the new initiatives, take it out. Take it
Yeah, I
out.
was gonna say, if you haven't had a
Don't-
chance to read through it,
Yeah.
read through
Oh,
it,
yeah.
because there's
So-
gonna be a lot of stuff you wanna take out of that.
So
I
you're
am too.
saying the highlighted part is what the School Board Association lawyers are recommending that we look at?
They're asking you to bring your attention to those specific areas. You
Okay.
can look at the entire board policy, as
And-
Mr. Shreve
And
and
I think we
talked
should,
about
because I saw
earlier.
some that were not highlighted that we probably should.
You were always welcome to make suggestions to
Yeah.
your members.
If you
I
catch
I
one,
did too. I saw some that weren't highlighted, and I'm
Right.
going, really?
Well, if you
I don't know
catch
that we
some-
want that.
Yeah, you can take the DEI out, but if you take the anachronism out, but you can't, if you're taking the substance, leaving that in, it's not doing much.
That's
Thank
part
you.
of your 30-day review to bring back.
Right.
yeah, if you read through it, Charles, because I know you will, highlight
have
it.
some.
Bring it to our attention, because there's a lot of stuff in there that needs to come out.
Yeah, I printed it off, which one of them's really long, but if you print it off, then you can circle some things. That's
It
what
was
I did.
almost too much to print,
I know, that's why I said it's a lot.
so,
Buy some
okay.
paper.
I just wanna make sure that they weren't just asking us to tweak it.
No, they're asking to make considerable change.
Okay, thank you.
5.2, Washington Elementary School update, Dr. Cheeseman.
Your project is still on time and still running. However, I now have updates based off of your employees from Eastern Elementary School, John Cotton Taylor, who went with Jimmy Height into Cary to look at brick selections. Those bricks are now ready for you to look at. And so Mr. Height says that he will be available tomorrow at 3:30 and/or 4 o'clock. And I'll write these and email these to you, but also Thursday at 3:30 and 4 o'clock, and next Tuesday at 8 a.m. as well. So the different selections and options between the bricks and the color of the roof, they're all small staged out at the site. And the reason there's 3 or 4 options there is so all of you can meet at a time that you can do it individually. You don't necessarily have to be there as a group. And so he'll have conversations with you, and then when they narrow the choices down to 2 or 3 from there, then the presentation will be made here to the board, so you actually vote on which one that you'd like to have. They're staged at the site, closest to the job entry site.
Closest
And
to what?
The
Where-
job, the
Where
construction.
the construction trailer is.
Okay.
And I'm
It is a
certain
big
that
site.
Mr. Stokes will help you find the way as well.
Okay.
Yeah, isn't there a recommendation from Mr. Stokes and possibly even the new administrative team?
I've not heard of one.
Okay, well, I think I'd heard of one, so, okay, I'll handle it.
I've been told what they like, but I've not been
Well,
told
that's
what
close
they
to a
recommend.
recommendation if somebody likes one over the other.
As I advise them, that's a board decision.
Oh, I'm sure it's a board decision, but,
Yeah.
you know, I like other opinions of what people think.
How about it? All right,
Dr.
SI,
Cheeseman, can you just send us out email or something, just a little bit more detail on what we have available to look at and when we should be looking at it?
yeah, he said that in his conversation. He would send it all out in a text or an email, so we know.
Okay.
it.
So it
Okay.
starts tomorrow at 3:30.
Tomorrow,
Yeah.
okay.
SY 26 budget update, Dr. Cheeseman, you got an attachment board.
Yeah, so Ms. Potts is here as well, and she can comment to this. So some things with budgets have changed, and now this is draft number 3 instead of draft number 1 or 2. Please notice on the left-hand side, you'll see changes in terms of rates. Ms. Potts, do you want to comment on that?
Be glad to. Hey, y'all. So I had a webinar this morning with Jennifer Bennett, and it was all the CFOs throughout North Carolina. And she threw out this morning on the retirement rate that she believes that 24.67% is what may be approved. And then she also threw out that $8,500 for hospitalization may also be the figure that's going to be approved. So I had been using the $8,500 So that, you've seen that in draft 1 and draft 2, but I did update the retirement rate today, so you're just seeing the changes in that retirement rate. I have been using 24.52%, so today I've changed everything to 24.67%.
And so this is for your review again, and we intend to bring this to you on your next meeting at May 6th, asking you to vote to approve in terms of its presentation. So if you have any requests for changes, please let me know.
Does this include the potential teacher raise?
She did not mention anything about teacher raises
We
today.
got it in a
but
little bullet
it-
point from State School Board Association, the consideration in the budget. So
That's
this
through
does
the-
not include
So
that.
That's through the
I had
Senate's bill.
used,
Right.
right,
Or Senate's budget.
I had used 3%, just thinking that maybe,
Then
an
that covers it,
average.
because the largest thing I saw was 2.7.
Yeah, I was gonna say, she was not hopeful today that there would be raises, and if it was, it would be very minimal. So I just left mine at 3% with
Then you kind of covered it.
hope and a
yeah.
prayer, right?
Yeah, they'll be
Yeah.
lucky to get 2.7. but,
That's
yeah.
what I think too.
We're also paying close attention to House Bill 192. That would raise beginning teachers and also veteran teachers, and that's why there's a supplement line there. So if that does not happen, then that obviously comes out of this request as well. But we're not sure if that's going to happen before you have to vote and submit
I
it.
think for too long, the state has not respected our veteran teachers or veteran employees. When they get past 25 years, we want them to stay, but the state acts like they do not want them to stay. And that needs to change. I think anybody over 25 should get as much or more raise than anybody else, but they don't see it that way.
Donald?
The left-hand column where it says total amount requested is 16,139,000. And looking over to, so that's our request this time, is that correct?
That's
No.
25's request. It says county appropriation FY 25. It goes 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. The request at this time, we hadn't voted on what we're going to request. It's at the top, it talks about saving the
Okay.
position.
Okay, and the 17 million over here to the far right on the fourth column. Now, was that on there the last time that we saw this?
Yeah.
I don't believe it was that much.
Okay.
It was not that much. It had
So-
it had the adder for the,
It changes with House Bill 192 being inserted as well.
Right.
So and is that that would be the flat funding?
No, sir. Flat funding would have gone back to the county appropriation of FY 25 at 16.139 million.
Right, okay. And so that would mean,
If they flat fund you, you're under.
in a very difficult situation also, right?
Just to state the obvious, yeah. If they flat fund you, you're under.
Okay, is he through?
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm a state obvious too, because I've seen this for a lot of years. So column 4, that changed substantially since the last time that you gave it to us, which,
So-
I understand, because things have changed.
Right, I was gonna say, so draft 2 included House Bill 192. And then
Right.
today's draft includes House Bill 192, plus the 24.67. So the change that you're seeing today on retirement
Yes.
is
I get-
really increased 0.63%.
I get it.
Yeah, I know you do.
I just want everybody to know I want them to understand what I get.
Right,
What that is saying is, you're 1.3 million in the hole.
Yes, sir.
if you're flat.
So even if we're flat funded by the county, what the county would say is flat funding. I know y'all thought I was on my cell phone, I want my calculator too. You're 1,365,000 in the hole before we even start.
And you're saving none of the positions.
And you're saving no positions whatsoever.
Correct.
So,
We didn't mean your position.
what was that word, Donald? Did you say desperate or, what was it? Whatever that word was, I'm agreeing with you. It
Yeah.
was
Dire.
that.
He said dire.
Dire, yeah, it's
Dire.
dire and add desperate to it.
And then also, Mr. Williams,
Uh-huh.
that means 67 positions that
67
we're looking
positions.
at. 67 positions that we're looking at.
And yes, this is just the thing that I go over every year. I say it every year. That's unfunded mandates.
Yes, sir.
That's what the state says you will spend Whether you have any money or not, we're not gonna give it to you. That's what you're gonna spend.
Yes, sir.
What a world we live in, that people can just call you and say, you're gonna spend $1,365,000 because I'm gonna make you, but I'm not gonna give you any money to do it.
Right.
Welcome to the school board.
And you don't know exactly what you're gonna get until you get it.
Unbelievable.
Our budget's gotta be done before theirs, and I heard out of the state today that their budget may not be ready until
That's right.
September 1, if it's done by
If
then.
it's done then, I've also heard October.
Yep.
So when you hear that people say that the school board doesn't know how to manage money, they probably right. Because if my wife went on a $1.3 million spending spree without telling me, we'd have problems. And we got problems here because that's what the state has done to
That's
you.
what's happened.
They've gone on a $1,365,000 spending spree and said, make sure you put some money in over there at Wells Fargo to cover that. But because we're not going to give you any.
Well, we don't know what we're getting.
Well, you won't be
So-
getting
so
that.
How can you manage something when you don't
don't
know
have
what
it.
you're getting?
That's
Or
right.
how can you plan when you don't know what you're getting?
And our budget is due before their budget's due.
Yes.
Well, we're looking at the third draft, and every draft we get, we're moving in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
I-
it's not going backwards.
I know we're going on and on, Dr. Cheeseman, so I'll just hush, but
All right.
this is just so much beyond ridiculous that I don't even know what words to put it in.
And just be mindful that by general statute, this has to be submitted to your county manager by May 15th, and that's why I'm asking you to vote on it May 6th. The attachment that will come next time will include your capital request list, which you wait until you receive your funding and then decide what projects. But I'll thank Mr. Stokes and Ms. McKeel and Ms. Fleming and others who've worked on that list tirelessly. So you'll see that come next time.
I want to say
Crazy.
that Jamie's done an exceptional job on the capital budget for the last several years. I don't know how you manage to do what you do, but things somehow get done, and I do appreciate it. You do a
But-
good job.
Thank you.
But this year, Mr. Stokes, we're going to give you $1 million worth of work to be done, but we're not going to give you any money to do it.
We will
Maybe 10
expect
grand.
some miracles.
That's what we're being told.
We'll see how good you really are.
All right,
Your response kind of looks like ours.
let's move on to the action items.
Move on to something more desperate.
6.1, summer program, school year remediation testing. Miss Vicki Bennett, come on up. Board, you have an attachment. This is an action item.
Good evening, Ms. Bennett.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, thank you. We are asking for your approval for the 24-25 school year re-administration plans. You have already approved for the summer program. And this year DPI is also going to allow for retesting at the, during the school year. So, but unlike the summer program, it does occur at the conclusion of the academic year. The school year re-administration will occur during the school year. Public school units will be able to re-administer end-of-course and end-of-grade tests during the last 5 days if it's a semester, or for the last 10 days for the year-long. Students will receive remediation, and then they're given the opportunity to take the EOC or EOG again. As with the summer program, re-administration is only allowed if a student did not score proficient on the EOC or the EOG. Student participation is voluntary. Schools are permitted to utilize both the school year re-administration testing window as well as the summer program. However, the students may only have one opportunity to be re-administered the EOC or EOG. The re-administered test scores, just like with the summer program, it will not be included in growth analysis, or it will not be for educator effectiveness. But the higher of the score will count for proficiency calculations.
Anybody got any questions for Ms. Bennett? This is a normal yearly thing.
And so we don't need to worry about a dollar amount here.
No.
I mean,
I have a question. Vicki,
required.
what would you say an average
It's required.
percentage of students participate?
At the elementary and middle schools, we have more participation. High school is harder to
Right.
say, maybe at least 25%.
Really?
You think that's pretty good? Dr. Barbara?
And this is done but this is all done prior to our teachers leaving?
The school year would definitely be prior to the teachers leaving, and a lot of the schools do take advantage of the teacher work days, and they will remediate and retest during that time.
I can understand where somebody that's on the bubble with a
Right.
little, you know,
Right.
4 or 5 days of remediation can fine tune what they missed out on. But I find it hard to believe if they scored really low that 5 days is going to pull them where they need to be. So then what is their other option? Because if you fail miserably and then you get some remediation, I would certainly hope that it made a difference. But if it doesn't make a big enough difference, what is the next course of action for that student?
Well, a lot of the schools, what they do is they target the ones that were 1 or 2 standard errors
Okay.
away.
All right.
Because those are the ones that they potentially can. Or if they realize a student tested, normally would test higher, maybe they just had a bad day, and they might work on them. For the high schools, it does count as 20% of their final grade for the course, so that would play into it for their final grade.
Okay, thank you.
All right, can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to
Second.
pass this?
All right, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, 6.2, got a field trip, Dr.
Thank
Cheeseman.
y'all.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you, Vicki.
Southside High School, Athletics and Band, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yep, they've got enough chaperones.
Motion to approve, anybody?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, Terry?
We are already to the closed session.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I move that we go into closed session pursuant to General Statutes 143, 318, 11A to prevent disclosure of
That's a
confidential
record.
personnel files under General Statutes 115C 321.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?